Hi everyone, welcome to Life Skills with Louie. I'm Louie. Today we are talking about interpersonal effectiveness. It's an introduction and a discussion of prioritization. If you haven't watched the introduction to the section Learning to Love, please watch that to understand this whole set of skills better. And if you haven't watched the introduction to the entire video series, please watch that as it'll help you to understand each section of skills and how to use them. So to dive right in, this is a favorite section of mine, and this comes directly from Dialectical Behavioral Therapy, DBT, created by Marsha Linehan and her team, and she calls this set of skills interpersonal effectiveness. I've added on a few small additions to those skills, but you can get a lot more info on those skills by looking at her material and her team's material, which is excellent, and that's how I learned it. So, to dive right in, interpersonal effectiveness is a large section. There's a lot of skills in this section, and I have gone back and forth on whether to do this, but I've decided, sure, why not, that I came up with a little tune that helps to have the acronyms make sense. And so I'm going to sing this, not because I think anyone else will ever sing it, but perhaps it'll help the acronyms to be cemented in your brain, and then you can learn them in more depth. So I'm going to sing the tune, and then I'm going to talk about each of the skills a little bit and about prioritization. So the way the tune goes is, and I apologize, I'm just getting over being slightly under the weather. The idea with these skills is to become a fast giver and a dear human. May we all become a fast giver and a dear human. May we all become. And so on and around. So that is almost a little prayer that may we all learn some of these skills at the very least, and maybe all of them. And may humanity become more able to be effective interpersonally. Love the title that DBT gave it because it's so true. Learning how to positively affect others and to receive what we need is so essential for all humans to level up on. So to talk briefly about these skills, we're going to go over, this is an addition, this AAA, which has to do with attachment. So we're going to talk about attachment, and two elements I think of it as critical are availability and accountability. We'll talk about those and how it relates to all the skills. That's an add-on. The FAST set of skills has to do with self-respect. Comes directly from DBT. Each of these letters stands for something that we will talk more about. Giver, I added on the R, it was just give skills with DBT. That has to do with being effective in the relationship. How do you build the bonds? It's related to attachment, but a little more specific. Dear human has the H and the U are added in. In traditional DBT, this is called the dear man, but I thought this was more inclusive, and also the H and the U, in my mind, are critical to add in there. The dear human skills have to do with assertiveness, asserting oneself. In DBT, it's called objective effectiveness, getting your objectives met. And you can't really be in a relationship if you don't know how to assert yourself, because you don't really exist without assertiveness. So the key here is prioritization. In any encounter with someone, I think about, what am I focusing on? All of them are important. Sometimes one group is more important. Let's say this is a really important relationship to me, so I really want to lean on these giver skills. And let's say that I really need to get something accomplished. I want something, I need something. I'm going to focus on the assertiveness skills, not forgetting about these other ones, but sometimes there's a certain area of focus. So the idea with the interpersonal effectiveness skills is that there is a method to be learned, and you can consciously think through how you want to interact with other people. This has so much possible benefit to you and the world. And I really hope you bring in these skills to use in the future. Thank you for listening.